Okay, so let's take a look at how to install Python and PyCharm onto your system, as well as how to create your first PyCharm project and get things running and so forth. Okay, so it's fairly straightforward. The first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to want to go to python.org here, and you'll go to downloads and basically get the latest version of the Python 3. Okay, so in this case, it's Python 3.6.2. Okay, so you'll click that. You'll go ahead and run the installer. I've already done that. I'm not going to go through that. There's really not much to that. The other thing then is we're going to use the PyCharm IDE, which is a really good IDE. It's made by JetBrains. JetBrains makes some really awesome IDEs. So you'll see we can do you do download now, and then basically make sure it should auto select your platform and so forth. You have two options. There's professional and there's community. So community really is sufficient. That's the one that I'm recommending you get. If you do want all the bells, buzzers, and horns, what you can do is you can go here, this JetBrains/student, and basically what you'll do is you'll click apply now to get a code that basically will allow you to use these sort of professional versions for non-commercial purposes. And then you could download the professional version and so forth. As I said, so then you're just going to go ahead and do download from the community version, and again, you're going to run the installer and so forth. So it should be pretty much a no-brainer. Once you run PyCharm, so here I have it. A screen that roughly looks like what you should see when you first run it. Basically, you can go to create new project, and so you'll see essentially it has it. You can pick your location and so forth. So I'm just going to call this first, and it has my interpreter selected here, and so I'm just going to go ahead and click create. Okay, so that opens this up. Let me just kind of resize this so that it will fit on the video here. All right, so here's our Python project, okay? And essentially all we're going to do, notice I can try to spin this open. There's actually nothing there. What we want to do is create a brand new file. So if I right-click on this, and I go to new, you'll see there's the option for creating a Python file. That's the one that I want. So I can call it first. I don't even have to put in the .py. PyCharm will add that automatically for me. Okay, so when I do that, you'll see it basically opens this up, creates my, now when I spin this open, there's first.py. Okay, so here is our Python file itself. Okay, and if you navigated to this particular directory, you'd be able to see that along with some additional files, a .idea directory that has the settings for the project and so forth. So how do we actually use this? Now, the book talks about using basically the basic Python tools for doing all this stuff. Let me show you actually how to do this stuff in PyCharm. So the first things you should note is this part down here that says Python console. If I click that, you'll notice what this is. This is an active Python interpreter. So for instance, I can enter in any valid Python code, and it will execute that. It will evaluate it and print out the result right away automatically. Right, so 3 plus 4 equals 7. 3 times 2. I can have a string, hello, and I can do string concatenation. Okay. And basically it concatenates the two strings together, showing that. Of course, remember, we can also have strings that use double quotes, etc. And those are basically the same thing. One of the things that's kind of interesting in Python is something like this. So I could take a string and multiply it by a number, and I get that many copies of the string. Now, initially you might look and say, well, how is that useful? It turns out it actually is really useful. For instance, if you wanted to print, say, a separator line, it's really easy to do. I could do something like this, that times 70, and boom, there's my little separator. Okay. Now, I'm saying printing, but really none of this is actually doing printing. We're just evaluating this directly. If I put those in my program here and ran the program, I wouldn't see it. For instance, notice if I do 3 plus 4 here, and then I go to run my program, and the way that I run the program, the first time is I can right-click on the file, and you'll see there's this option for run and the file name, right? You notice I could also do Control-Shift-F10. So if I do that, it will actually run my program, okay? And here's the output of my program, which is nothing. Okay, why? Because I haven't told Python to actually display this result. Okay, the console is nice in that it evaluates these expressions and then prints out what the value is. In a Python program, however, we have to tell it to do this by using the print function. So I can use print, and then we can come back in here and simply go up and say go ahead and run this, and you'll see now we have that. We can add some additional information, so I could have the string 3 plus 4 equals, and then put a comma, right? So we will print out this, and we will print out that. 3 plus 4 equals 7. Okay, so that should give you a basic idea of how to create a program, how to run those things. If we have multiple Python files in here, that's fine. So for instance, if I just created another one, other, right? Print hello from other. Okay, now if I just go ahead and click run, okay, notice I still see this. Why? Because the run configuration that I've selected here is for first, and that's the only run configuration we have. If I want to run this one, basically, again, just come over here, do run other, and now we see hello from other is displayed. Notice when I click this, we still see hello from other. What if I want to go back to the other one? Easy enough. Just switch over to that and click like so. Okay? Really, really simple, very, very easy stuff to do. Okay, so that should give you a basic idea of how to do that stuff, and that should get you started for your first assignment. One other thing is, if you're in this view and you want to create a new project, one thing you could do is you could come here and you could select Close Project, and that would take you back to the page we looked at before. The alternative is just do File, New Project, right? And then you're basically into the same Create Project dialog, and you can create a brand new project like that. If you have any questions and you're in my class, hit me up on Piazza, and if you found us on the internet and have some questions, then post a comment down in the comments field.